can't see me, you Stevie. Wondering how I reach more evolutions than Eevee and make it look easy.
What is up, Earth's mightiest subscribers? It's Ernie, the Blur Without Fear. Welcome back to the channel. All right, so today's video, we're gonna be talking about what's going on with Wolverine number 4, but also what's gonna be in the upcoming Wolverine number 5 issue. As we learned with the first issue of Saladin Ahmed's Wolverine series, there was some new nefarious entity that was going to be plaguing Wolverine over the course of this run, and because it is the 50th anniversary of Wolverine, you gotta go big or you gotta go home. And they had to bring something new to the table that could match the epicness and longevity of Wolverine in Marvel Comics. So what Saladin did is he introduced this entity called the Adamantium, effectively pure adamantium, and adamantium that has not been broken down or reforged. It keeps constantly referencing to other people in the Marvel universe who have access to adamantium, whether it's through adamantium coils, claws, arms, whatever. It keeps referencing them as having impure adamantium, and the adamantium is basically going around taking over the people who have adamantium in or on their body in some way and replacing it with pure adamantium. We don't really know the full strength of this new adamantium, but what we do know is that over the course of just 4 issues alone, not only has the Wolverine villain Cyber had his normal adamantium arms replaced with adamantine, but we have also seen Lady Deathstrike also have her normally adamantium claws turned into adamantine. Matter of fact, she has also been taken over by the entity no differently than Cyber was. And we see in issue number 4 that Constrictor also seems to have had something similar happen to him in regards to his adamantium coils. Adamantine's goal seems to be to take every piece of adamantium and make it pure again. He wants to make adamantium great again, basically. You know, take that how you wanna. But for Wolverine's 50th anniversary, he's gonna be having his adamantium replaced with this new adamantine. The end of this issue shows it already taking place. Wolverine has gone through a lot of changes over the years, and one of those being originally his claws weren't even attached to his body. They were a part of his costumes, and eventually it would evolve to where they were a part of his body. He's had his adamantium taken away, and he has even had his adamantium completely overtake his entire body, encasing him in what is effectively an adamantium shell, and he has also died and been resurrected and come back with hot claws. So this is yet another thing in Wolverine's history that, you know, whether or not it will be a stepping stone to something else or something that does not last, I can go ahead and tell you right now, it's probably all going to be dependent on how fans resonate with this sort of thing. Case in point, the whole Bone Claw Wolverine thing, Wolverine not having adamantium. While it was cool for the time that it happened, people wanted him to go back to having his normal adamantium stuff. And then of course, the whole Hot Claws thing, nobody really seemed to care for that. I think I'm probably one of 2 people who actually didn't have an opinion, positive or negative, on it. If anything, I thought it was funny more than it was anything else. And then you also take in consideration this, having gold claws is gonna be something interesting for a guy who wears a lot of yellow. And also this adamantine having, you know, sentience, and also, you know, being able to communicate and talk and all this other stuff is going to be kind of weird. I don't know if that's something that Wolverine should be holding on to. Like, it's almost effectively making him closer to a Venom style character, having like a symbiote type thing attached to him is, I don't know, it's a stretch. I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. But I mean, I think it's really going to all come down to how much stronger is this pure adamantium than the next thing, because I feel like over the course of time, you know, adamantium being the strongest substance known to man, and there have been tons of other substances that have come along since adamantium that have either come very close to being exactly like adamantium, and in some cases substances that make adamantium look cheap. It just depends on what it is. Like, we've seen stuff like Uru that comes along, and, you know, which is basically moon rock, and is, in a lot of cases, depending on who's writing the story at the time, just as strong, if not stronger than adamantium. We've seen instances where vibranium has been treated as being really not that much different than adamantium in a lot of cases. Depending on who's writing at the time, vibranium is either just as strong, or in some cases, depending on what's going on, has been referenced as being no different than adamantium outside of its sound retention and energy absorption properties. We can't forget what happened during the Krakoan era with Mysterium. Mysterium was revealed to be just as powerful as secondary adamantium, which is just a weaker version of adamantium, but even sometimes with secondary adamantium, that stuff has even been revealed sometimes to be not that far off from the genuine article, so we're gonna have to wait and see on that. I will say, as far as everything else that's going on with Wolverine in regards to the adamantium business, it's safe to say that whatever this is, whatever adamantine is up to, it seems like Wolverine's going to be the one who's going to break the cycle on this. We have seen some of his more recognizable rogues gallery get caught up by it. Constrictor maybe less so. Constrictor's a character who's just kind of more of a generic supervillain. He's not really anybody to write home about. I feel like people will probably have been more interested if like an Omega Red had shown up, but I think that's going to be saved for later down the stretch. And we're not worried about Sabretooth because Sabretooth is dead. He is, in fact, incredibly dead, and there are no resurrection protocols. I don't think you're going to see Sabretooth in any major fashion for quite a while. I'm sure he's going to come back. I'm not saying he's gone forever, but I don't think we're going to be checking for him anytime terribly soon. Like, I think it's going to be, saved for later. Maybe. You never know sometimes. Marvel does crazy shit. But with the rest of it, though, I do like what's going on with Wendigo here, that, we were seeing that the young kid Leonard who got turned into a Wendigo it's almost like he's kind of breaking the curse, like not entirely, but even Wolverine says that he's never encountered anyone who's able to push back the Wendigo curse the way this kid is. And Wolverine's training him, trying to teach him how to fight back against his baser instincts, and basically using a lot of the same tactics that the X-Men used with him in order to, break him of his feralness. He's using those same techniques with, the new Wendigo, or I guess, can we call him Lendigo? Can we call him that? I don't know. Yeah, that's not a thing. We'll just have to wait. See, we're workshopping those names. But yeah, I like what they're doing with this. And I don't know if this character, this new Wendigo, is going to hang around. I've talked about this before, but I would honestly be happy regardless of what they do with this character, whether he hangs around and becomes like a confidant of Wolverine, which I could actually see that being the case. I could actually legit see that being the case. But if they don't do that with this character and they just kind of have him ride off into the sunset, I think it would be a waste. But I think at the very least, let this be a character that shows up, hangs around for a little bit, goes away for a little bit, comes back for a little bit. Wolverine doesn't necessarily need a sidekick character, but Wolverine does, I think, work better a lot of the time when he has somebody else to play off of. I think this could be it. Wolverine, I think, also works better as a father figure for a lot of characters, like how he did for Jubilee. He worked really well as a father figure for Jubilee. He even worked really well as a father figure for Kitty Pryde, and even kind of more as a mentor than anything else. And he's done that for multiple other characters, Rogue included. So yeah, I'm down for it. I think this could work, and we'll just have to wait and see when issue number 5 comes out.